tonight on Colonial Sports Center.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Colonial Sports Center. We are your hosts. I am Brett McGooley, joined by my partner in crime, as always, Joey Dramesky. That one felt a little bit longer. I don't know, maybe a little bit longer at desk this week. But Joey, we got a bunch of fun stuff tonight.
A lot of fun stuff, and what I'm mainly excited for is the Hall of Fame inductees segment that we have planned for later in the show, but not going to get too far ahead of it. So, Brett, let's get started. We'll get to the Hall of Fame section a little bit later in the show, but let's kick things off with the women's hockey team. They officially kicked off their season this past weekend in a 2-game series against the Assumption Greyhounds. Let's take a look and see how the Colonials fared in this one as we take a look at Game 1. We start in the second period. Colonials on the power play. Shane Desjarnes finds Katrina Kreber for a deflection goal, and the Colonials get their first goal of the season. Way to play the body in front there for the Colonials, and they're officially up. Moving on here, Elena GM Petro is going to find the back of the net after the Colonials fare a little bit in front. Nice deflection play to start the game for this team. GM Petro, the captain, finds the back of the net for the first time this season. And we continue on here. Assumption turnover. That's given to Lindsay Smolin, and she finds the back of the net. She shoots and she scores for her first goal of the season. The Colonials are up big here, 4-0 against Assumption. Little fake, little deke, and finds the back of the net. Now Colonials keep going here in their own zone. And unfortunately, that would be the first one of the game for Assumption. Rachel Agarter finds the back of the net. It is a 4-1 game, and then the Greyhounds would find another one, making it 4-2. Looking a little bit slim here for the Colonials but the Colonials come back, and this one as Morgan Gion finds the back of the net to make it 5-2 Colonials. And this one, they don't stop as they continue. Third period, about 6 minutes left. Colonials trying to find the dagger. Puck goes high, deflection, and scores. Linnea Miser had a goal and 2 assists in this one as the Colonials take the first game of the season 6-2. Moving on to the second one here on Saturday afternoon. 0-0, about 7.5 into this first period. That puck gets turned over, but swept back in by the Colonials here. Talia Dalia, that is GM Petro gets her second of the season, and just as many games for the captain. Nice steal here. She's breaking away. Backhand and an absolute beauty. Top cheddar where Mama puts the peanut butter. Colonials are up 1-0. We keep going here. Talia Dalia, centering pass, and they score. Taylor Story finds the back of the net. That one is going to be credit to her. The referees looked for goalie interference on this one. Eventually, after a brief break and a brief review from the officials, they would find the back of the net. That is Story's first collegiate goal with the Colonials, so huge story there for her. Now the Colonials up 2, still in the offensive zone. And Shane Desar just finds the back of the net for her first of the season. 3-0. What a start to this season for the Colonials. An absolute powerhouse. An absolute power strike there indeed to get her first of the season, as you said.
No doubt. And the Colonials up 3-2 now. The Greyhounds would fire back, but Caitlin Shuley finds GM Petro in the center. GM Petro, that'd be her second of the game, her third of the season, and the Colonials would win this one 4-2, a sweep to start the season for the Colonials. What a great way to start.
A great way to start indeed, and GM Petro's back. She scored a couple goals this weekend to start the season out for the Colonials, so pretty exciting times for the women's hockey team, especially with the opening sweep this weekend.
No doubt. I mean, we've been looking forward to this, or especially me. I've been looking forward to this season so far. The Colonials, and Logan Biddle has got his team rolling to start, no doubt.
And another team that had a sweep this past weekend was the women's volleyball team as they took on Purdue Fort Wayne this past weekend. So let's see how the Colonials did in their 2 matchups against the Macedons. As we see here, they beat the Macedons 3-1 in each of their matchups. In the first game, Jocelyn Jordan had 18 kills and 10 digs, leading the team in kills, and Todd had 11 kills and 5 aces in the first game herself. And then Riley Resnick for the Mastodons had a double-double herself with 22 kills and 12 digs, with Hayden Means reaching 40 assists, which was a match high. And then the second game for the Colonials, Jocelyn Jordan again with another huge game with 23 kills and 3 aces, with Caitlin Brown assisting on 43 of their points with 11 digs as well. And once again, for the Mastodons, Resnick, the sophomore, had another double-double with 24 kills and 10 digs for the Colonials, or for the Mastodons, excuse me. So Brett, pretty exciting weekend for the Colonials.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There was also a bunch of season highs for the Colonials this week. In that first game, Jocelyn Jordan, 18 kills, her season high. Caitlin Brown did her season best twice, at 38 assists in the first game, and then she went for 43 and 11 digs. She had a double-double in that second game, as well as Jocelyn Jordan. So the Colonials are just on fire right now.
Yes, they are on fire, but unfortunately on Tuesday they lost to Youngstown State, but still a lot of momentum. Rough loss to the Penguins in Ohio, but they've been picking up a lot of wins as of recent to get their season underway.
Absolutely, it's been a good way to start off the season for the Colonials, for both teams as well. But when we return on Colonial Sports Center, we head to the pitch, so don't go anywhere.
When you adopt a shelter pet, you discover their unique mix of all kinds of traits.
Where'd Wiley go? Where's Wiley? Ah, there she is. Paw?
Do you remember being an ancient wolf? Do you ever feel the call of the wild?
You're a renegade cop, and I'm a con woman with nothing to prove. But together, we could really solve this murder.
They're a little bit of a lot of things, but all of them are pure love.
For the break, both soccer teams were in action this past week. So Brett, why don't you tell us how the women's soccer team did last Thursday as they took on Detroit Mercy?
Absolutely. The women's soccer team unfortunately had to change where they played. Unfortunately, they did not take on Detroit Mercy at the NAC, but they had to shift over to the Montour Junction. They were facing Detroit Mercy in the final game of a 3-game homestand. Still looking for their first win in conference play. Let's see how the Colonials will do in this one, and that is what they got. They finally got their first win in conference play, they finally make it up. And this was an all-defensive matchup until Ava Trethway found the back of the net for the only time this game, finding her third of the season in the 57th minute. Emma Cameron was also a huge star in this game. 6 saves on 6 shots. She had a clean sheet for the 3rd time in her career.
And 4 of those saves that Cameron did have were in the last 10 minutes, so a lot of crucial saves for Cameron to save the Colonials and get their first Horizon League win of the season. And for the Titans, as we see on the screen, they had 6 shots on goal with 17 for the game. So the defense for the Colonials held it down. Cameron in net stopped the Titans from getting a goal to tie the game up, and Trethway with a beautiful goal to give the Colonials the lead and the win.
Absolutely, this was a huge one for the Colonials. They showed they can get the job done in these low-scoring matchups. Yep. So that's a huge one to see if this Colonials team. And if I'm Michelle Rick, I'm very happy right now that they can stick in with this one.
Yep. And for the men's side, they took on Penn State They took on Penn State on last Tuesday, but before that, they took on Purdue Fort Wayne on Saturday in Indiana. So let's see how the Colonials did in that one. As we see here, a scoreless draw for the Colonials against the top-sided Mastodons. Jocelyn had 5 saves, another clean sheet, adding to his total for 4 of the season. And the team only had 3 shots on goal. But this number I want you to look really closely is the 22 fouls in one game. That adds to their total of 135 on the season. So physical game by the Colonials. And let's see how they did against Penn State as they took on the Nittany Lions last night. And obviously, unfortunately, a 2-0 loss for the Colonials. Kusi Ude was one of the 2 players to get a shot on goal, with Jack Rojano getting another one. And just a rough day for the Colonials as Ben Liscombe scored in the 40th minute for the Nittany Lions, and Kai Phillip with the goal 5 minutes before that. So rough loss for the Colonials, but an upcoming weekend for them, which will be an exciting one.
Yeah, hopefully this team can turn it around to a draw and a loss. Not exactly what you want to see for this team, but they do got a nice weekend coming up. Hopefully they can rack those wins up for sure.
Yes, indeed. And as we are going to take a break here, and as we come back, we're going to have an interview with one of the new Hall of Fame inductees and some awards that the Colonials had this week. So you don't want to miss it. Stick around.
Colonial Sports Center. Let's see women's basketball. Found my heart out there in the open. Trees make you feel smaller. Can't help but get lost again. If I need a break, know where I'm going. Where the water's flowing, I'd rather be floating. If it's something that can count on to be free.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. Now it is time to roll out the figurative red and blue carpet, because the Colonials took home some hardware this week in the form of some Horizon League Players of the Week. Let's take a look and see the amount of awards all these players got this week. It has been a crazy one here, Joey.
Crazy one indeed, with 5 Colonials receiving their respective conference awards. So let's see how the Colonials did in with some of their awards. As we see here for AHA Forward of the Week, Jessica McKinnon had 1 goal and 4 assists on the weekend. And then one of the Horizon League Volleyball Players of the Week, Jocelyn Jordan, with 5.13 kills per set, 2.88 digs per set, and a hitting percentage of .272. So those are 2 pretty impressive Colonials as they did for the week.
Absolutely, yeah. Especially Jessica McKinnon. Jocelyn Jordan has been a dog all season. We've been talking. I feel like we've been talking about her for since we came back for Colonial Sports Center in the fall season. She's been an absolute dog. One thing I would like to say about Jessica McKinnon is she had multi-point games in both of those games. She factored in on half of RMU's goals this weekend, which is crazy to think about. She had a fantastic weekend for the Colonials, both offensively and defensively. Jocelyn Jordan also had that double-double on Friday, so she's been fantastic.
Yep, and Horizon League Defensive Player of the Week, Emma Cameron, and some other Colonials with the awards this week. So impressive week for the Colonials.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Emma Cameron had that clean sheet as well. Josh Lane, absolute dog just in general. I feel like I've been saying that a lot. The clean sheet, 5 saves against Purdue Fort Wayne, 4th shutout this season. And Linnea Misner, 3 points in her college debut game. She ties the program record for that, so she's been fantastic. But that's not the only carpet we got to roll out, Joey. It's been a crazy week for the Colonials. The RMU Hall of Fame inductees have officially been released for this year. Let's take a look and see who made it into this elite group. Jessica Karwacki for the women's lacrosse team, 2-time All-American in 2015 and 2016. three times All-NEC from 2014 to 2016, All-NEC rookie team in her rookie year for the Colonials, and 644. That's triple digits, Joey. 644 draw controls for her. She was a fantastic player in those mid-2010s for the Colonials.
She was a dog and also was the 2000 RMU football team, a 10-0 record, the only RMU team to finish undefeated, and they were the national champions of the NCAA non-scholarship league. They were the national champions of that. They scored 30 or more points in 8 games, and currently six members of that team are in the RMU Athletic Hall of Fame. So that's a pretty impressive stat for that team.
Absolutely. And sticking with football here, Jason Spencer from 94 to 97, he played for the Colonials. All-American honorable mention, All-NEC and All-ECAC in 1997, two-time NEC champion, and 234 tackles, triple digits. But those aren't the only 3 inductees we have, Joey, are they?
No, there's actually one more, and that player was J.C. Gebhard, who was a member of the women's hockey team, and our very own Nate Fennell had the opportunity to sit down and chat with her about her induction. So Nate, take it away. Let's see how this interview went with them.
First, I just wanted to start by congratulating you on your being selected to the Colonial Hall of Fame for class of 2025. And I just want to know, what was it like when you found out that you were going to be inducted into the Hall of Fame class?
Yeah, well, thank you. It was definitely a shock. Logan had just called me and said, hey, you're going to get a notice soon, but I just want to be the one to tell you. Of course, he was one of my coaches all 4 years when I played, so it was nice for him to be able to tell me. But it was definitely a shock because, I mean, I was thinking, I've just been graduated for 5 years. It hasn't been that long, so it was a shock, but it was also nice to hear, and it's obviously an honor. I still don't even believe it, really.
Yeah, and then obviously you had an incredible career, which led to you being inducted into the Hall of Fame. But looking back on your career, what did you say was one of your favorite memories from your time as a member on the RMU women's hockey team?
Definitely probably my freshman year when we won the CHA tournament, and then we had to go play number 1 Wisconsin in the NCAA tournament. Obviously the first time RMU had been there. So that was definitely crazy, but also my senior year, kind of the best year I had out of all 4, personally was great, but probably winning that CHA tournament my first year was my best memory.
And then, yeah, you referenced that first year, and you took home multiple awards for like Rookie of the Year and all this stuff. So what was it about your game and your abilities that you were kind of able to just step right in and perform pretty much right away for the team?
Yeah, I mean, I think my biggest strength always had been hard work, and so I knew if not being the best skilled or anything like that coming in, I could at least be the hardest worker. But I mean, it seemed to translate well, and then of course I had great line mates with obviously Britt Howard, who just got inducted last year, and then Amber Reddy, who I had played with my whole life. So playing with them my first year kind of made it very easy. But I just wanted to come in. I really didn't know what my role would be, but I was glad I could make such a big impact already.
What do you think was most important to you that you learned from your time here that you were able to take with you to the next level?
Yeah, I think obviously the work ethic, like still learned so much more coming from high school to college, but even just more little things about the game and like off the ice stuff like nutrition and training and all that you kind of get in high school, but not as serious as, in college. And then just so much about the game. I mean, Coach Paul, who was there when I was there, he taught so much about just little details of the game that you kind of never thought about before, which kind of was able me to take to the next level and use, when I went to play pro, because that just takes it to a whole nother level again.
Yeah, and then now that you're officially going to be recognized as one of the greats in the history of RMU athletics, what do you hope to have your legacy be remembered as from your time here at RMU?
I definitely hope that my legacy can just be that people don't think of RMU because it's a small school, but we can compete, at the highest of levels. And like we've shown that we went to the CHA championship 5 years in a row, and before the program got cut, and now they're making their way back. So me personally, I just hope that kids that come in, they kind of can think the same and think doesn't matter how big the school is or nobody knows the name, that we can just be just like any other team and make it back into the rankings, all that. But personally, I hope that my legacy can just be that people learn to work hard and continue to love playing hockey and love to work hard during while they're at college. I know it can be stressful, but that it can just be as fun.
All right, well, that's all the questions I've got for you. Thank you so much for your time, and congratulations. You deserve this moment greatly, and I'm going to send it back to the guys now.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Nate. And let's take a closer look at her individual stats as her time as a Colonial. As we see here, a women's hockey player from 2016 to 2020, 2-time CHA scoring champion, 3-time CHA All-Conference, and WHCA National Rookie of the Year.
Yeah, I mean, the words speak for themselves. Graphics speak for themselves. She has been an absolute machine, or she was an absolute machine for the Colonials whenever she played here. She really brought back what it meant to be RMU women's hockey. She put them back on the map, and now they are where they are today as a successful team, just beating Assumption this weekend. RMU women's hockey has been back for a while, and it is just great to see that she was the front runner in all of that.
Yeah, and as we see the career points, 198. That's an incredible feat for any player,
absolutely.
And especially for a Colonial. Special for us to see that one of our very own, before our time, is being recognized for such a great career that she had.
Absolutely, you just really do love to see it. But whenever we come back on Colonial Sports Center, it is everyone's favorite time of the week. It is Top 5 Plays with a little special treat at the end of the show, so don't go anywhere.
The death of George Floyd, who died in police custody Monday night.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation. It's going to take more than just us, as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to help us make a change, because it just can't be us.
Feel the beat of nature at a park or forest near you. Find a forest and music inspired by nature at discovertheforest.org.
Welcome back to Colonial Sports Center. And Brett, look what I brought back for Top 5 Plays this week.
Joey, the bit is dead. We've done this twice. It was funny the first time. Look at the backpack. It's dead, dude.
No, it's
dead.
No, it's not. Wait.
No way.
No way. Our Top 5 Plays, they're back.
Top 5 Plays is back. Joey always back at it with the backpack. I mean, you can never, it never fails. Packback never fails. I stand corrected. I apologize. It will never not be funny. But we're going to kick it off here with Colonials women's hockey against Assumption. Elena Giampietro finds the back of the net for the first time this season, coming off of injury. 3 goals on the weekend for the captain.
And at number 4 this week, we're going to go to men's soccer as Shane Anderson is set to take the free kick here. And it's Josh Lane with the diving save, the full body extension to keep that ball out of the net. Gorbo is going to clear it out of the back for no damages for the Colonials. But as we saw right there, Lane with the full body extension. What a save by the Colonial keeper.
There's a reason that Josh Lane has been praised the way he has. But moving over to women's volleyball, Jasmine Purical saves it with the dig for the Colonials. Tia Schultz tries to send that one over, eventually goes over. Purdue Fort Wayne sends it back. Nice save there. Colonials try once again, and that is Jocelyn Jordan. Who else could it be, Joey? Jocelyn Jordan with the kill for the Colonials. fantastic this weekend and fantastic this season. Nice off-speed one, fools the defenders.
Nice little campfire hit right there. And at number 2, we're going to stick with volleyball as they took on Youngstown State. Puracal is going to have the serve. Penguins are going to set up for a hit. It's tipped, but Puracal with the diving save. It's going to be sent over, and the Penguins are hit for another hit. Jordan's going to pass that ball to Caitlin Brown. She's going to set it for the Colonials. Another hit. No point there. Brown's going to set it up to Todd, and Todd's going to put it back corner for the point for the Colonials. What a rally. What a point for the Colonials.
Yeah, just perfect team play from them. But moving on to our number 1 play of the week, we head back to Clearview Arena. Lindsay Smolin gets past the defenders, fakes backhand, and she scores. Lindsay Smolin finds the back of the net. Colonials go up 4-0 against Assumption, and they would later take this one. What a game for the Colonials.
What a game, and what a fake by Smolin and Brett.
And what a weekend, too.
What a weekend. And, you know, we got a busy weekend. So our very own Penelope Shriver is going to tell us about the weekend forecast for the Colonials. So, Penelope, take it away.
Thanks, Joseph. I'm Penelope Shriver here with your weekend forecast. It's going to be sunny with a 100% chance of Colonial sports. So starting off on Friday, we have the women and men's cross-country team heading to Notre Dame, where they will be competing in the Joe Piene Invitational at 10:30. And then for women's hockey, they will be heading to Bemidji, where they will be playing the Bemidji State Beavers at 7 p.m. And then on Saturday, we have rowing kicking us off at the Head of Ohio. Moving on to women's soccer, where they will be heading to Kentucky to play the North Kentucky Noors at 1 p.m. Also at 1 p.m. on the road, we have RMU football, where they'll be heading to Massachusetts to play the Merrimack Warriors. And back at home, we have the RMU volleyball team competing in a back-to-back series with the Oakland Golden Grizzlies at 2 p.m. And then men's soccer will also be at home facing off against the Indianapolis Jaguars at 3 p.m. And women's hockey will be right back at Bemidji, where they'll be playing the Bemidji State Beavers. Ending our Saturday, we will have the men's hockey, where they will be facing off against the Bowling Green Falcons at 6 p.m. away. Moving on to Sunday, we are back with volleyball as they are going to close their back-to-back series with the Oakland Golden Grizzlies at 2 p.m. And the men's hockey is going to close out our weekend versus the Waterloo Warriors. That's all I have for the weekend forecast, guys. Make sure you to check out RMU Live, and I'm sending it back to you.
Thank you, Penelope. And Brett, you know, a cool Friday, but it heats up on Saturday.
Absolutely, yeah.
One of the games I'm excited for is the men's soccer game as they take on IU Indy for another conference matchup. And it's going to be an exciting one. I mean, the Colonials are looking for their second conference win of the season. Obviously lost a little bit of ground last Saturday when they took on Purdue Fort Wayne, but good game for the Colonials, you know, get back on track in the win column. And also, it's alumni weekend, so who's not excited for that? It'd be a great Saturday afternoon.
Some a little homecoming, if you will. Hint, hint to maybe some next week topics. But for me, Joey, you know I'm the hockey guy. So we got to highlight men's hockey here. For me personally, bringing on 5 new transfers. Men's hockey adds 2 new defensemen, 2 forwards, and 1 new goalie. So highlighting each of them just a little bit here. Dario Bejo put up 26 goals this past year for the Yellow Jackets. Ryan Taylor, 44 points in 89 career games, another one of the forwards they had transferred. But Rasmus Larsson, I really want to bring him up. This guy was drafted by the New York Rangers. Yes, the NHL New York Rangers back in 2023 and attended training camp for them in 2025. Had 60 blocks as a defender for them this year. Matt Watville and goaltender Lucas Massey, 2 also notable transactions for the Colonials this year to add some depth to their defense and their goaltending. So I'm so excited to see what these 5 guys do for this team this year.
Yeah, and the men's hockey team, you know, exciting team, especially after last year. You know, they had an okay season, but obviously you mentioned a lot of the transfers coming in and being an exciting season for them as they start on Sunday down at Clearview Arena.
Absolutely, and really quickly before we end here, football is also back after their bye week. This is going to be a fun one.
Exciting.
But we are looking forward to all the matches. We hope you are too. That is what we got for Colonial Sports Center. We'll see you next time.